Hellblade. So, Senua's sword has been shattered, but she's found Grum, the legendary blade of Odin, which can apparently be reforged as it is also shattered, inconveniently.
There it is. Focus.
And these voices in her head are really distracting. I need to actually back up for a sec here. Let's finish the recap. Okay, I'm just going to do what they're saying. I feel compelled, I guess. We're here to reforge a sword, is the point.
A king in the north forced the dwarves to make a sword that would never fail and never rust, and that would slice through iron and stone and bring victory to its bearer. But the angry dwarves cursed it. It would be the death of a man every time it was drawn. And it would be the death of the king. Let me tell you about the sword Tyrfing.
Oh, it's a different sword.
I don't recognize this place. Where are we? Where is she?
It feels wrong. Where are we now? Burial.
This is somewhere different.
So strange that we go to such lengths to bury death. Something so very ordinary, inevitable. It's as if we conspire to hide death.
Once again, the
No answer for it.
narrator voice makes a sly point about what's going on.
And forces itself onto our friends or loved ones. Then comes the reckoning.
There's a flag thing here, but I saw a runestone in the other direction, so I'm heading the other way. I wonder whether this reforging a sword process, I wonder whether it represents to Senua, like, overcoming trials or gaining courage, or whether it's not just some kind of an arbitrary thing. There's also the possibility that, it's like, in some sense, actually happening, but I think we can dismiss that by now. It feels real.
Senua, you remind me of a story that the Northmen tell about a young woman warrior. Her name is Herver, the daughter of a berserker born after he was killed. She's a wild, willful child who teaches herself to fight with weapons. When she learns where her father is buried, her only desire is to reclaim the treasure buried with him, but above all, the sword, Tyrfing.
Tyrfing again. We're just drowning in swords these days. That's the ultimate destination, right? That ship figurehead type structure. What is in there? It looks so dangerous, but so broken. More so every time I see it. The voices earlier mentioned going to extreme lengths to deal with death, which is, of course, the entire premise of the game. But we're referring more literally to funerals and burial, as this appears to be some sort of burial mound. I've seen pictures and drawings of mounds like this in histories and on Wikipedia, mostly on Wikipedia. I'm starting to get into the habit in this kind of combatless portion of the game of exploring and looking for more runestones, but I don't want to waste too much time doing that.
Don't go in there. Go in. You have to go in. Take the torch. It's too dark. Take it. This will help you. Careful. You have to be able to see.
Well, if Senua's got no sword, at least having this will... I don't like this.
Dillian, I'm here. I'm here for the trials. Like when we first met, remember?
Oh. The warrior trials. That's where the idea of these trials has come from and merged into the legend of grammar. I think maybe. Rune things. Can I kind of light this? Yes, that's handy.
There he is. There he is.
Oh.
Dillian, there he is. Finally.
You found him. What's wrong? What happened? Can you hear me?
How did you let him go?
Just wait there. I'll find you.
I don't like this.
Find him. Use everything you have and find him. Get him back. He was just there. How could you lose him? How could she lose him? How could she? Find him.
I don't like this sense of an impossible task. Like, Dillian is dead, and while this idea of his soul being captured by the Norse gods or whatever is almost makes a kind of sense, at least in the worldview of this culture. The idea that it's just hard to see
I'll find him.
this ending woe for Senua. Like, what is she going to ultimately have? Could she ever find some kind of closure, or is it just kind of doomed to
Nothing. Was that voices?
relive these terribly painful moments and become extremely sad?
Dillian's calling to you. Can you
Where is
hear
he?
him?
Where is he?
He sounds like he's getting further away.
Have you lost him?
You're going the wrong way.
Are you lost and have you lost him?
Where are you? Tell me.
Herva disguises herself as a man to join a band of warriors, and soon becomes their leader. When they come to the island where her father is buried, her men do not want to go ashore. They say that evil haunts the island, and that it is a worse place by day than other places are by night. Fearless, she lands alone. There are many grave mounds, and all of them have ghostly flames burning over them. She comes to the grave mound of her father after passing through these ghostly fires, as though they were mist. The flames I passed through were real enough. Damn the Northmen to hell.
I like the little interjections where Druth will mention things about his life or about the escapade in the woods which he and Senua were having.
I can hear him.
Within the burial mound, Herver calls on her father to wake from death and bring her his sword. She says that it is not seemly for the dead in their grave mounds to bear valuable weapons.
It is kind
Her
of hoarding,
father
isn't it?
answers with words of warning. You go to your doom. Baleful runes surround you. You have gone mad. You have lost your mind. Your thoughts are confused. It is dangerous to wake the dead. Like I said, she reminds me of you.
Ha! That's not funny. Tyrfing. I wonder what these warrior trials were like. If I recall correctly, Dillian was not from the same village as Senua, but was visiting her village to take part in these trials, and persuaded her to do the trials also, as he saw her potential to fight. Maybe this whole
way, it's not working.
You have to use
section
your mind. Where can you go?
You're failing.
provide information.
Think, focus. Use your mind.
Where's he gone? He's disappeared. You let him slip through your fingers once again.
Think clearly.
The voices are being really distracting at the moment.
Don't doubt yourself. You'll never find it.
She doesn't recognize it.
Yes, you do. You know.
I thought I was keeping track of where I was by lighting torches, but somehow that hasn't worked.
Dillian. She can't hear.
Does everything look the same?
Looks the same. Something's different.
Here's an unlit way.
It's not him.
I think this is the right way to do it.
We told you. We told you it was a trick.
You actually have to basically press on into darkness whenever you can. It's the way to proceed here. You also can't run in this section. Can I get through here?
That voice doesn't sound like Dillian
What's
anymore.
happening?
Quiet.
It's not even
He wants me to find him. I'm lost without him.
That's not Dillian. That doesn't sound like Dillian.
I'm actually going to back out here.
More dangerous.
Partly because the voices continued dire warnings, which I fully believe, but mostly because there was another unlit way to go, and I'm hoping for another runestone to continue the story of Tyrfing and Herva, I think was the name of the warrior who was searching for the sword Tyrfing. I think I can remember how to get back to where I was just now. I hope so. Oh dear, maybe this place is more confusing than I thought. If I follow the right wall from where I am right now, I should be fine. Oh. Well, maybe not, because that door doesn't make sense. I think I was on the other side of this grate at one point. Okay, searching for runestones is not my priority, maybe, right now. Or maybe it is, I don't know. I'm torn between wanting, like, the lore and wanting to not be lost and terrified. Well, I'm not personally terrified. But I'm controlling and being asked to empathize with a fictional protagonist who is. At least the wounded section is over. But the little kind of gasps of surprise at the darkness are still disconcerting. So I think I now stick left to return. Although, have I been through here? I know I said stick left and then turned right, because on some level I'm still looking for places I haven't been. Yeah, okay, let's forget it. I'm going to return to trying to progress. I will go to where I think that cave was. Oh no, I'm completely lost. This was predictable. But the yelling is louder in this direction. The yelling which Senua is arguing with herself over whether it might be Dillian. Okay. Back to this. Digression over.
What's in there? What's in there? What is it? A secret room. No close. How do you get in there? How does she get in? Maybe you can. There's no way in. Find a way.
That voice. It's not Dillian.
You're too close to stop. What's in there?
Why are the voices so obsessed with this door in this room? I'm curious now. Oh, it's a runestone. Huh. Well, now I really want to be there. Okay, I'm going to pretend for a moment that this place obeys the rules of geometry. And I'm going to stick to the right wall, much more strictly than I claimed to do earlier. If I do that, I should be able to get around to the other side of that door. I think I was actually on the path there before when I was wandering at random. This may waste a few more minutes of any hypothetical viewer's time, but now that I know there is a runestone to be seen, I want to see it. And also, I feel like... it's funny, even though the voices are like clearly not trustworthy, and like, if anything, they represent like just fears and failures and well, kind of every aspect of Senua, I guess, all personified. Aha! I still for some reason feel compelled to do what they say, like when they're all yelling, for example, run, or no, go there, don't go there. They're often contradictory, but compelling somehow.
Herva ignores her father's warnings. The grave mound opens, and it seems to be full of fire. Again, Herver demands her inheritance, but her father warns her that the sword is cursed and would be the bane of her family. But he relents and brings her the sword. She leaves the island with it, but the curse holds true, and death would follow in the years to come. And so, Senua, the misdeeds of a father have cursed his daughter.
Well, that's direct. Druth was not entirely okay himself and may have had some bugbears, but he certainly saw a lot of things fairly clearly. He was clearly a smart and educated guy by the standards of, like, Orkney, or for that matter, Denmark. I wonder how much Senua told him about her father, who seems to have been Zynbel was his name, I think. Who seems to have been a problem. It's not like he was responsible for her psychosis, but he did not deal well with it. Or with her mother's. Alright. They did actually manage to get into what they claimed was a secret room. Now that I'm back on track, what exactly... Wait, there's a lit torch there. Does that mean I've somehow been there already? Oh, but now it's lit over there as well. Okay. I don't know what's going on here.
Where are we?
She has no idea.
We're going round in circles. You have fallen ill. You think that sound is Dillion's voice? It's a trap.
The same. Something's different.
Look for clues.
What is it?
What's different?
There's a clue.
They're really taunting me now. The voices, I mean, and also the game designers.
No, don't. Space.
She just no.
She doesn't.
Think, don't listen to them.
Just
Just us.
She needs us to help her.
Think clearly.
Your days forever. What are you going to do when the torch
The
runs
shield
out?
is different.
Wander around until it gets dark, and then you do
There are differences in each room.
Yourself. There's nothing you can do.
This looks different. Either because it was the entrance to this area or because it is different. Huh. But I've been here, haven't I? Didn't I? If there's a barred door on the left of the runestone beyond it, I'll know I've been here before. Yes. Okay. Confusion. Don't understand how I got back to there. Is this literally a circle that leads directly around there? Well, this is possibly going to be a long video. Probably not as bad as the time I spent 7 minutes looking for a rune, but... Wait, this is different. Followed the loop around again, but now... What? I kind of prefer the darkness. Did I hear... I heard the whisper of her mother's voice. Where? Where is the voice? The face? Wow, perception is really distorting here. Looking for a face, but I'm not seeing one. Maybe it's in this terrible looking place. I don't know, it looks kind of terrible. I honestly don't want to go in there. Like, the whole thing has got me hyped up for problems. No faces here? No? Okay. Here we go.
wants me to face my fears.
Does he? I want you to face your fears. I guess that'll do. Well, I don't know if it'll help anyway. I think I must have missed the mother's face. I'll never know now what she might have said. What's...
Father? I'm leaving. I've decided. I think it will be good for me.
It's the darkness. It's speaking through
No,
you.
Dad, it's me. I think I can beat it. In my own way.
I can see the darkness in your eyes, child.
I met a boy.
Boy.
The chieftain's son.
No.
He said he could help me.
It's a trick.
He said I could be normal.
Normal.
Yes.
No boy is going to save you. No one can. When they see the rot growing inside you,
No!
they will turn their back on you. The gods can only fix you through my hand. You're going nowhere.
No.
You will not defy the gods. Come, child, take my hand. Come. Senua.
I am leaving!
You cannot escape the darkness. Your curse will make everyone suffer. You will have blood on your hands!
Those were not nice ideas to put in her head. Glad she got out back then, even if it didn't turn out fantastic in the end.
You did it, but there's more.
As hypothesized, that guy was a bad dad. Although, I mean, he was dealing with something he could not
It's
comprehend.
not going to be
But, you know,
easy.
dealing with it poorly. Well, that's one trial
It's too much.
encountered. I'm not sure whether I want to say completed or triumphed over, but it occurred. It was a maze, effectively, was the trail-like portion of it. I wonder if that was... I strongly suspect that maze of rooms in a barrel or whatever was like partially a memory of one of the Warriors trial things, and I bet the other ones will be too. Next up, later on.